Hello, my name's Artemis, and today we're going to talk about feet. Fuck it, I know we've spoken about it a lot. I know it's something that I bring up and I use a lot, but to quote Trixie and Katia, this is my show and not yours. So this is what I want to talk about. This is what we're going to talk about. So I'm not even going to waste time on an intro. Let's just get into it. Now, obviously, this is something I have spoken about a few times, but I still have more to say. It's a rich and deep subject, and it's something very near and dear to my soul. Yes, pun intended, but obviously, there are a lot of things that I sort of think about with this whole subject that do fit in with me and also don't. And fuck it, that's what we're going to talk about, because of course, I am asexual. And that's not the beginning of a sentence, like I am a sexual deviant or I am a sexual being. I am just flat out plain asexual. There is no lewdness to me, which makes it very weird when you try and say to people, you know, I like feet, because their instant thing is, foot fetish then. No lewd. And that is one of the big problems with having an interest such as this, is the general perception that you get from it, because the way that feet are treated in films is always the same. They're stinky, they're disgusting, they're gross. They're usually used for a cheap joke that's non-offensive. Something like that. Or if somebody does indeed like feet, they are usually portrayed as a freak. Just look at what's his name out of Mr. Deeds. Just pure 100% freak, and that's literally the assumption that people plant on you. They think that instantly you must be a disgusting shoe sniffer who likes to drink sweat or something, I don't know. And it seems like from the very beginning of people finding out about any of this, you're instantly on the back foot. Yes, pun again, intended. And you're instantly having to explain yourself against all of these other motherfucking perceptions that they've already gotten about other things. Because the stereotype, the typical expectation is that yes, you like the smell, yes, you like the grime, and no, God, I can't even express enough how much I don't want that. Which is why when I often first deal with people that are finding out about this, I try and hit the emphasis on foot care, foot health, and cleanliness, because that is what I am all about, okay? I am all about the soft, the clean, the squish, the healthy. That's a pretty big departure from what most people are expecting. You know, I don't give a shit about shoes. I hate high heels. They are just, they're just pain incarnate. So no, not for me, thank you. Keep them in the store, don't even bother buying them. No, I'm all about the foot health. And this is another weird thing that people just tend to find odd is, you know, obviously I am a big guy, and there's two parts to that description. There's big, tall, heavy, big, built big, not like the small, cute, twink-looking fuckers that you would assume to have just naturally okay feet. And also guy. Like, the stereotype is that men have rough, hard, tough feet, and they don't really look after them, and they don't care. And honestly, my experience is that by and large, that is not a gendered assumption. Like, that affects everybody. So when I'm like focused on soft feet, on foot care, and I know a lot about this subject because I've been doing this since I was 15, it seems like people just find it weird. And I'm just kind of always like, hang on, these are the fucking two appendages that you need to get around. Like, you use these more than you think about. And what, you're just not going to take care of them? You're just not going to give a shit? I don't understand that mentality, because you see so many people that literally just completely ignore any foot-based fucking ailments. You know, fungal nails, don't care. Ingrown nails, as long as it doesn't hurt, don't care. Hard, tough skin, don't care. How do you deal with that? How do you just wake up in the morning and that's okay? I don't get it. And before people come at me like, oh, maybe it's a health condition, maybe they can't help it. Bitch, there's help out there, okay? It's pretty simple to fix. At the end of the day, most of the time, it is something that you can do something about, and you really fucking should, because, you know, if I smack my elbow, I can still get on with my day. If I get a concussion, I can still walk around. But if I like walk on hot coals and burn my feet, I kind of shit then. I am immobile, I am fucked. Like, you would think that people would care a lot more about feet. And of course, because I mentioned it, yes, this is one thing that people tend to assume that I'm some sort of foot perv, and I really get scared about that assumption. I'll be honest with you, like it's one of those things that if people are comfortable with their feet around me, because by and large, I'll probably just ignore because I'm not a fucking creep, then that's a big deal of like trust for me, you know? I don't mean hell, I've had friends that are happy to like join in when I take photos of feet, and that's such a big fucking deal to me because in my mind it's always been like, this is what will push people away, this is what people will find disgusting and hate about me. So to have such a big obvious acceptance of it is a huge deal. But yeah, in the same way that a guy who likes tits will always sort of be looking out for tits, and you know, a girl that likes abs will always be sort of checking out them abs. Yeah, I can't help it but notice. And it's not even like, this is the thing, I don't ever look at anybody's feet and I'm like, oh yeah baby, what them toes do. No, that's not me. I'm fucking a fucking weird one, because I look at it like I'm a fucking podiatrist or something, and I'm just like, yeah, you need to sort out the heels. I don't think those shoes are doing you any favors, because you're kind of over-pronating, and that's going to lead to like a fallen dropped arch, and that means that your knees and probably the small of your back, that's probably hurting quite a bit because of it. So you need to get better footwear there. That's the fucking weird shit, I think. Like, it's never about like, oh, stomp on me, that's the boyfriend. No, it's literally just like, okay, what could we do about that? Like, come to my clinic. I don't have one, and I never will, but obviously you see that shit. And of course, I live in a beach town, so flip-flops are everywhere all year round, and honestly, why do people just assume that they can just unleash their hooves to the world? Like, why would you want to do that? I'm self-conscious as fuck. Why isn't anybody else? But obviously, yes, there are a lot of general sort of interests that link in with this that obviously people are aware of. The slippers, for instance. Yes, I am a slipper-obsessed man. And obviously that's, again, you combine that with the big guy thing, and people just don't get that. People just like, what? Like the amount of times I've had people say like, so do you wank into them? And I'm like, get out of my life. Seriously. Bye. That's gross. But it comes from a lot of different places, because soft, squishy, comfortable, you know, that's the same reason I like wearing foot paws, for God's sake. And also, it's a kind of, like, it helps keep the feet clean. And plus, the house that I've grown up in, the carpets are shit, and the floors are hard and cold, so obviously that links in. But of course, the other big one that really doesn't fit the whole big guy aesthetic is the tickles, because, yeah, that's my main zone. That's where I live, that's where I'm happy. And people don't get that, because by and large, either they're not ticklish, or they are and they hate it. You very rarely meet someone who doesn't fit into those categories. So for me to be a complete fucking sadist about it, or masochist, I don't know, and just be like, no, yeah, you can like torment me for days and I will be happy with that. Like, you'll never hear me say, no, please stop. Ever. That really just blows people's fucking minds. They're like, yeah, but does it not tickle? So, oh no, it does, like intensely, a lot. I just like it. I'm a freak, bitch. So that's definitely one to try and explain to people, because obviously they're relating their experiences to it, and they obviously don't like it, but there's me just like, no, please, go for it. Go on. More. So I don't think I've ever really been able to get someone to understand that. The way I sort of picture it in my head is my lack of understanding, like from personal experience, of how people enjoy sex and are sexually active must be the same sort of vein as them not being able to understand my stuff. So I have a frame of reference, them not so much. And of course, one of the big things that I tend to do, because I very much like my feet, I very much like to keep them soft and squishy and just generally healthy and good looking, is obviously the photography side, because I've always liked fucking photography. I don't know why I stumbled on that word. I've always enjoyed it from like a technical aspect, finding the good shots, using the right lenses, all of that shit. But I always struggled to find like a good medium to use, like a good subject, I guess. When I was at college studying animal care, it was piss easy because we had animals everywhere. But when I left college, there wasn't really anything left, and I was just like, just like I am with most things in my fucking life. So that's kind of where it turned, because I mean, hell, I'm happy. I don't have an awful lot of body positivity around myself because I've always struggled with my weight, and whether I was overweight or I'd lost all the weight, I would still look at my body and go, that just doesn't look good. I lost a hell of a lot of weight once upon a time, and I just looked like I had a disease. I look back and like, wow, whew. Are you okay, dude? Is there a GoFundMe to help that? But obviously, I've always been able to take care of the feet and to be healthy with that. And especially these days where I've gotten into like barefoot footwear, the Vivos and shit, and I'm thinking more functional and trying to keep things balanced and good, I'm just generally happy with all that. So if I can like feel some sort of comfort and happiness and pride with a body part, I will fucking do that. Again, I don't see it as any different than people who share like sexy, slutty selfies or booty shots, that sort of thing. This is just my equivalent, you know? I hope that fucking makes sense. And it does obviously have a big impact when people accept me for that, because acceptance is a huge deal. So I obviously started talking about acceptance and then thought, oh, hang on, no, we need to break that into another segment. So there's a weird segue. But yes, acceptance is the biggest thing, because I've had plenty of people who have made me feel like absolute shit about it. People who will say that they hate feet and they hate everything about it, can't understand it, but will keep bringing it up almost as if it was just to ridicule me. So for people to just literally act as if it is not a big deal, or just, oh, yeah, it's a thing, that's a huge deal to me. And again, I've always been panicking about people thinking I'm some sort of fucking predatory perv who is going to be constantly just trying to untie your laces and get to the treats inside. And for anybody to just not care around me, big fucking deal. Like, even that in itself, huge deal. Because trust to me is a big fucking thing. For people to trust me, that means the world to me. So to be just comfortable enough that they don't even think about that sort of, you know, the foot stuff, oh God, maybe I shouldn't because what if he does something? That's big for me. That's a big deal. And what's even bigger is people who actively engage with it. People who are like just willfully throw themselves into the photo shoots and shit. That blows my mind, especially when they are not so inclined. You know, when they don't have that active interest that I do, blows my mind. And I'm just like, wow, I shouldn't get so emotional over feet, but so yeah, it's a big sort of thing to me. I have plenty of people who are pretty fucking like, okay, and that's a big deal. Anybody who just generally doesn't make me feel like a piece of shit for liking it, you'll be pretty shocked what kind of effect that has on my well-being. Oh, but yeah, I think that's me saying everything I wanted to say. I don't know. We might cut to another segment. If not, there'll probably be an outro here. No, there's an outro. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my foot-based rambling, because sometimes this shit bubbles up and I just got to talk about it. And again, it's my show and not yours. But if you did enjoy it, maybe you would like to, well, if you are so inclined, check out the foot-based fucking Instagram that I have. And if you're not so inclined, then maybe you'd like to check out the merchandise. I have some foot-based stuff on there, although it's more paws, obviously. Or you can check out the Patreon. Or maybe both. You could always check out both. But thank you for watching. If you did, give us a subscribe. Because, you know, remember, although subscribing is not worth it, it's also not optional. Bye!